This video is brought to you by CatBeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
Back at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn at ringside as we get set for this title elimination.
At a time where the sport continues to deepen its weight classes, expand its horizons, and stir up its premier tier.
Deontay Wilder, I want you next, bum!
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
We welcome the latest mouth-watering matchup within the sport's most talent-rich division.
They should all be bumping right now.
Two elite welterweight icons with only one thing on their minds.
I'll come out and knock you out in the first round. It's still going to be exciting. People still going to be on their feet.
With 2 of the 4 recognized belts on the line, and after dominant wins from the likes of Lomachenko and Crawford so far this year, we see Errol Spence continue his step up in class, aiming to solidify himself amongst boxing's pound-for-pound kings.
I'm gonna knock you out, though.
That's not how you're supposed to.
I am gonna knock you out, though.
You sure?
I promise you that. I promise you.
Come get me.
Though, this time against Shawn Porter, a durable, aggressive, front-footed fighter who continues to excel himself.
Who's gonna knock out Errol Spence?
Yeah.
I'm the one to do it. I'm the one to do it.
September 28th. A fight that guarantees pace, drama, and excitement for 147-pound dominance. And a fight that sets the tone for a 2020 mega fight.
Very well determined, the new welterweight champion.
Please click thumbs up, subscribe, and press the bell button to be notified of our latest videos. As we dive into Spence vs. Porter, a closer look. Welcome to a Motive Media presentation.
Punches and punches! What a fight!
This video is sponsored by CatBeast, an online store where you can create custom embroidered hats at the click of a button. Press the link in the description below and create your custom snapback today. DeSoto, Texas, the home to one of boxing's hottest assets. As an amateur, he won 3 consecutive national championships, reaching the quarterfinals of the 2012 Olympics. Entering the paid ranks, age 22, he drew an almost immediate comparison to Mayweather in his early rise.
You know, he's aggressive, he sits on his punches, he gives you angles, he takes his time. I think he's a complete package, and I think he's got a very bright future in the professional ranks.
The distinct ability to excite the crowd and to finish his opponents that slowly turned Spence into a fan favorite.
This guy's got devastating power, speed. He's the goods. He looked like the goods again tonight.
And with 9 fights in his first year as a professional, stopping 7, he clearly meant business.
There's that left hook to the body. That's what we're talking about. That body is and that one really hurt.
Now 6 years on, with notable victories over Kell Brook, Lamont Peterson, and Mikey Garcia, the American stands as one of, if not the best, of boxing's current crop.
You know, all the fighters to fight each other, and I think, that definitely happened when I'll be number 1 pound for pound by the end of this year.
And made increasingly popular by his crunching power and riveting body shots.
Down he goes for the first time in his career.
He stands unbeaten in 25 outings. You could argue he's been overshadowed by the recent brilliance of Canelo, Lomachenko, and Crawford. However, as he now mixes with the division's elite, the next 12 to 18 months will tell us exactly where he stands.
I don't gamble or bet, but if I had to bet my own personal money, I would bet on Errol. I think he has the physical strength to deal with the bull rushes of Shawn Porter, who's also physically strong.
With an all-around skill set to rival any, backed by a solid engine and killer instinct.
Too hurt to stop this fight. I was fine. It's just, he's a great fighter. He was on top of me and he wouldn't back off.
Much like his last few fights, the emphasis will again be on his timing and ability to negate the distance.
Spence is landing the initial power shot. He's starting to find a home for it. Now it's a matter of can he get the follow-up.
But where Spence's strength and stamina are considered his calling cards, he will need much more to outwork Porter.
See, I think probably the fact that he may be underestimating me, I think that may be the number one thing. I don't think he's really aware of what I can do in the ring. So,
whilst the two are very familiar with one another, having crossed paths at a young age, it's arguably Porter, despite his unpredictable and smothering style, who holds the greater amateur experience. Boasting an exceptional 276-14 record, which featured victories over Jacobs, Andrade, Estrada, and even Alexander Usyk.
With a really good right hand, that backed him up, and then I just stayed on in the rest of the fight. I ended up winning the fight by like 2 points.
And now, with 11 years experience in the professional game, he also has 8 more pro fights under his belt.
Porter has faced maybe a little bit more big names than Errol Spence, but guess what? Errol Spence has better boxing abilities, you know, for sure.
One of the separating factors, take it as you will, is that Porter has 2 losses on his resume. That night against Keith Thurman, and a close points loss to mutual opponent Kell Brook. Whether you consider these as learning curves, demonstrated by his ability to bounce back in recent years, or whether you consider them as inconsistency or inability to hang at elite level.
There's only a couple of us. Keith Thurman just lost a couple months ago, so there's only a few left. And, you know, right now, it's me against Errol, and I'm looking forward to it.
Either way, with victories over Broner, Garcia, and most recently against Ugas, Porter is a proven top 5 welterweight.
I'ma win the war, rest assured.
Now approaching his 32nd birthday, he seems, if anything, to be performing as impressively and energetically as ever. And so, under the bright lights at the Staples Center in less than 2 weeks' time, could be his last chance at the big time.
They haven't been able to match his power, his ferociousness, and look him in the eyes and him know, I ain't going nowhere.
Despite having very different ratios, both men claim to be coming for the knockout.
I've never seen anybody knock me out. So, you say what you want to say, doing something that's completely different.
In a win, that would set alight a path to potential welterweight supremacy, a division that, barring the reintroduction of Pacquiao and Cuban fighter Ugas, is almost totally American-dominated.
Manny ain't backing down from nothing. That Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao. He's not backing down from anything. Errol has a big fight in front of him. You can't move the card ahead. You know, guys got to fight fights, and you see how it all shake out.
Instead, it will be a question of how well Porter, who has had tendencies to smother his own work, can find success on the inside. And whether Porter's erratic and unpredictable style will cause problems for Spence as he looks to find his range.
Right, man, a lot of boxing fans have this one-sided. I don't see it one-sided at all, man. This is going to be a great fight. I mean, Errol is great, but Shawn is great, so it's going to be a good fight.
The height, reach, and general size advantage all favor the Texan. And as a southpaw, rather than relying solely on his straight right, he sets up good angles and constantly works off his jab.
I mean, they can dab me all I want, like you said. You know, everything I said that was going to happen in each fight, it happened. So I'm expecting a knockout, and that's what I'm going to get September 28th.
But Porter, with his experience, work rate, and heart, will hope to take the center of the ring and catch him on the back foot. The more technically sound and the out-and-out harder puncher, Spence is confident he has enough in the tank to put his man away. To put a knockout loss on Porter's resume, which would be the first of his 11-year career.
I'm better than you talent-wise, skill-wise, and I know I got more dog than you. You're going to find out September 28th. More dog than me. Yeah.
And considering the caliber of Porter's opponents and his willingness to fight the best, would serve as an enormous statement to the boxing world.
Left hook by Shawn Porter.
Ultimately, we see 2 prime and hungry champions at not too dissimilar stages of their career, a matchup that opens up opportunities to secure a future and to cement a legacy.
You can still have your legacy and everything. I'm just going to slow you down.
Southpaw versus orthodox, skill versus strength, the matador versus the bull. Errol Spence Jr. versus Shawn Porter. My skiing lessons started great, but rapidly went downhill. I gave my bald friend a comb as a gift. He says he'll never part with it. Orion's belt is a waste of space. I know, bad joke. Only 3 stars. A caveman's fart? is a blast from the past. I once farted in an elevator. It was wrong on so many levels. It's no joke. You ask for it, you get it on a Motivedia presentation.